Working as an editor can get you so much money. It can get you free time and honestly a pretty comfortable life. But with all the good stuff does come some bad stuff too. Like working 30 hours with a client that's extremely rude and always micromanaging, always being annoying. And at the end of it, you get paid like not even enough to like get a meal at McDonald's for real. But that's why I'm here. I'm gonna be telling you everything that I've went through as a freelance editor so you don't have to suffer like I did. And believe me, there's a lot. As a video editor specifically, you can either be making big money or you can be just scraping pennies. But how much you make as an editor is determined by a few things. Most clients don't care how long you've been editing. I can say I've been editing for 30 years, but if you can't deliver what they want, then you're useless to them. You can't think of yourself as an editor, you have to think yourself as an asset. And I know I'm using big words. Take out a dictionary, it's gonna be a big one. Creators are looking for people that can get them the result they want. If they have already made a style, already have a style that they want, they're gonna look for somebody that can get them that style. So it doesn't matter how long you've been editing. If you have a client that wants you to do a podcast for them and you have no prior experience, either a test edit, which sometimes is good, sometimes is bad. When it comes to money, it's really those things. When it comes to like making money and getting a job with a client. But when it comes to pricing and all that other stuff, that comes with experience. Let's say, for example, I edit podcasts like as a regular day job. My regular price for like a regular podcast is $500. If somebody was like, yo, can you edit this podcast for me? And their podcast is a lot more complex, a lot more intricate than what I'm used to. I'm like, well, I'm gonna have to adjust the price because at the end of the day, with experience, you know how to judge a price. And being new, it's kind of hard because you never really went through that. And I'll cover that later. When it comes with how to price something, depending on what you've done and how confident you are, depends on your price. For me personally, the way I like pricing it, if I already know what the video is going to be, if it's a podcast regular through and through, okay, I know what to price it at. But if it's a video I've never done before and they're like, yo, I want you to try this thing, then I'll inform them, hey, I'm gonna give you this price for this thing. I don't know how much it'll actually be, but we'll set it at this price and that's it. And then next time I'll be like, yo, I have to adjust the price because I already know, okay, this is what you want, this is how much I'm willing to charge for it. So it comes with sometimes a little bit of experimenting on with you and the client, be like, oh, hey, I'll charge you $400 for this. But it's a $700-800 kind of video, then it's just like sometimes you kind of bite the bullet. Once you give a client a price, they're not willing to kind of give you more because you already set the price beforehand. When it comes to working with a new client, you want to make sure you have a good number. Usually I'll go a little higher than what I'm comfortable with. When you get bigger and bigger, like when it comes to clients that pay more and more and more, honestly, they don't really care. They just want the result. And if they're like, all right, $1,000, that's going to get me the result that I want. Okay. And honestly, when you get higher up, it's a lot easier to ask for that because when you have the experience and you're like, yo, dude, I'm going to charge you $800 for this. They're going to be like, okay. It's literally that simple. When it comes to people that are, you know, smaller on budgets and don't have experience with you as well, it becomes a little more dicey. So it's not an easy thing. But generally, when it comes to money, those are the things I really look out for just because they're really simple and easy to understand for 95% of your issues. But there's more later, believe me. And honestly, when talking about money, you can't get money without clients. The truth about getting clients is honestly sucks. There's different ways as an editor you can get jobs. People say Twitter, LinkedIn. Honestly, I've never had success on that, but also I haven't tried too hard. I've gotten my jobs through either YT jobs or just referrals. What I mean referral, I mean like oh my bad, sorry, networking. That's the word. So either cold outreach, just hitting somebody up, be like, yo, let me edit for you, which doesn't work that often. YT jobs or like LinkedIn, which you know you can get jobs that way, but you need to be able to show that you've done that kind of video so that they're more willing to kind of hear back. Or networking. Honestly, networking is the easiest, not the easiest, I think the easiest way I've seen to get jobs because I've gotten 3 jobs from one network. So like I know somebody, I got one job and they're like, from that job, since I'm working with these people, they were like, yo, we know this person, and I got more jobs like that. I think that networking is a big part, but I'm very antisocial, so that was really hard for me. But honestly, networking is really good. When it comes to like cold outreach and getting jobs, from what I'm doing is this is like an example of like showing what you know without having to send it to somebody, right? Like if you're sending an email or whatever to show, oh, hey, this is the kind of video I do. If you're DMing a creator and you're like, oh, hey, I'll edit for you. You don't want to do that. You want to send them a video of what you do in the style that they want. Like one way is like through YouTube. Like this is what I'm doing. In order for me to get more clients, I had this brilliant idea. Hey, from all the years of YouTube I've accumulated, I'm gonna just make videos and edit them and show people, oh yeah, I can do this thing. And yeah, so like that's one way, but then that requires you to know how to script, make ideas, thumbnails, titles. So then you're not just an editor now, you're a creator. And honestly, I'm doing it because it works in my favor, because I really love YouTube as well, not just editing, but it's a lot. So if you're gonna do the YouTube route, it's good. And believe me, I've seen people that have gotten jobs doing it this way, but it requires you to have a lot more skills than you would expect. Trust me, it's hard. So unless you're already doing it or it's something you're already committed to, don't. So I would say, honestly, just showing your edits off on social media is a big way. Like if you're on Instagram or Twitter or whatever and just showing off your work and the things that you've done, and just being in the community of editors, being in Discords, Reddit, doing on social media posts like of your edits is a good way to get your foot in. And it's very hard. Like it just takes a lot of time. Or networking. Or networking, when you get higher up and get more money and get more clients, that's a way you're gonna get clients. Just because it's like, oh, hey, by the way, this guy does this thing and it's really good, you should hit him up. And usually people kind of work with people that make around the same money as them. Let's say, for example, you have a client that pays you generally $3,000 a month, right? And that seems like a lot, but like when you're living alone and paying rent, that's not that much, especially if you live in the United States. It's let's say you have a client that you're working with and they're like, yo, dude, you do a great job. I refer you to this person that can hit you up. All right, cool. That $3,000 that you make a month is like, cool, I make 3 G's. And then let's say that next person pays you, like, let's say their videos are like $1,500 a month. So now you just made a couple hundred more, like 1,000 more off of just somebody's talking about you without you having to do anything. So your work speaks for itself. Networking is a great way to get clients, but just because you get more clients doesn't mean you get good clients. Because there's good clients and then there's really bad ones. This one threw me for a loop. For the first year of being a freelance editor, I didn't know what to expect because I've never really worked with anybody that was shitty because I don't have any experience. How can I tell what was bad and good? We're gonna start off with good. What to expect when things are easy and you're working with good clients. First of all, good clients know what they want and they'll tell you what they want. Like, for example, my regular day job is I do podcasts. The producer was like, yo, we want this. Can you do this? I'm like, I'll do a test edit. I send it. They're like, cool, you can do this. Can you keep just doing that? Okay, that's it. I swear to God, it's that easy. But that's working with a good client. People that like know what they want, they tell you what they want, and they're like, they'll work with you in that situation, right? I was like, yo, dude, I've never done this before. Let me try it. I tried it. It worked. And they were like, okay, what time can I expect it? Because it's something I never did before, podcasts. And I was like, yo, give me 3 days. And he was like, yo, take a week if you want. Like, take your time, figure it out. And I'm like, oh shit. At that time, I haven't worked with anybody that seamlessly. Having the time of just like, yo, you can just do it, just like figure it out is great because it allows you to kind of figure out the kinks if you've never done it before. If you've done it before, then it's a lot easier because like, yo, generally like 2 days or whatever. All right, cool, fine. They're patient with you. If something goes wrong in the edit, and things will go wrong in the edit, it's expected. Having that client that's like, yo, dude, it happens. Did you like figure it out and it's like adjusted? Like, yeah, it's fixed. It's just like, I ran into this issue. That's why it's a little later. Okay. And eventually when you do enough videos, you kind of have that experience of like, oh, I know what's going to go well and I know what's going to not go well. And I know what I'm going to have to adjust for, right? So working with clients that are patient with you, that's a big one. Having a patient client is super, super, super helpful. They respect your input. There has been times where I've been working with somebody and I'll let them know something that is like, yo, this is kind of an issue and it would make my job a lot easier and me able to get this thing out faster to you if this was done. And they're like, okay, that's it. Because like at the end of the day, if you don't have an editor, you don't have a video. Having a client that's working with you and being patient and being able to kind of like say, oh yeah, I hear what you're saying. I respect and understand what you need is phenomenal. And honestly, the last one for like good, generally like good clients is they pay you on time. Like I get paid. I have to send an invoice. And then when I send the invoice, I usually send it on the weekends, like on Friday, and it takes a couple of days. You skip the weekend, so that's 2 days, and then I'll get paid like Tuesday, Wednesday. So like 2-3 days, right? Generally. And it doesn't fail. And if something were to happen, like, oh, you get paid later, it's because like I'll send it on Thursday and it doesn't get processed till like Monday because you have to skip the weekend just because that's how it is. Or let's say they pay you directly. Let's say they Venmo or whatever, right? Like I've worked with a client on a video recently, and I didn't even finish the video. The final product wasn't done, and he paid me straight up. He was like, boom. And I'm like, yo, bro, you didn't have to pay me right away. He was like, nah, bro, you got it. Like doing that, bro. Oh my God, bro. When you're working with somebody that respects your time, respects your craft, bro, it is so refreshing. And it's so refreshing because of the shitty people that I've worked with. And there's some stories. Believe me, bad clients will have a laundry list of things that you have to check off. And this is kind of part of it, not part of it a little bit. Like you have to work in a specific editing software, maybe because that's what they've worked on. And they're like, you have to do it here. If you're good at editing, you can edit on anything. It's a skill issue, not a software issue. And a lot of people don't understand that. And they'll have like, oh, you have to edit in this way. You have to do this way. Like I've seen posts of jobs that will have like 1,000 different things you need to do as an editor. You have to learn motion graphics. You have to learn Photoshop because you have to do the thumbnails. You have to work with us on like 1,000 team meetings. You have to do frame.io is actually not that bad. You have to do so many things that it's not even you're not even an editor anymore. You're just like a Swiss Army knife, which is extremely hard. And you should be getting paid not $30,000 a year. Like I would say upwards of like $120,000, $130,000. Because if you're doing thumbnails, which is already hard, ideation, which is a whole nother beast. You're helping writing scripts, you're editing the video, you're doing motion graphics. By the way, if you are asking an editor to do motion graphics, that's a different skill set. Even if you think it's not, it is. Stop. For the second one, for bad editors, I mean, the bad clients, not editors, they think everything can be fixed in the edit. That's not true. I've worked with a client, had this grand idea of all this intricate like storylines, these characters, and just like a really, like imagine a Mr. Beast video, like that crazy. Bro, 80% of the footage was B-roll. If you don't know what B-roll is, it's just video of a thing. Like imagine a close-up video of a fork and people like and just like random shit like that. And the only footage I got of actual like people talking was like bad shitty footage with bad audio, and it was all cut way too short, so most of it wasn't even there. Imagine being told to make a 20-minute video like a Mr. Beast video for shitty pay and no story direction. There was basically no pre-production. And what pre-production is, for those of you who don't know, is basically like the planning of the video. What's gonna happen, what are the storylines, who's gonna be in it, what are the different things that are gonna happen, how the video is gonna be shot, what kind of style you're going for, all of it. Bro, when I tell you I wanted to jump off a bridge when I saw the footage, I ended up telling them like, yo dude, I'm not doing this. What you want from me, I can't do it, and I quit. I just could not work with them. And having clients that expect everything to be done in the edit it's ridiculous. If you're gonna work with people that have those expectations, they have to be that good. They have to be like, yo, we expect a lot, but you'll be getting a lot in return. Like they'll be working with you, which is part of working with good clients. Another hint of a bad client is they expect so much of you. And what I mean by that is like, if something goes wrong, like let's say in that scenario that I just told you, that story, like they're like, yo, you know, you gotta make the story work and you gotta change this and change that. And like, let's say I want a different camera angle for the character. I'm like, well, you never gave me that. A lot of bad clients will expect you to fix everything in the edit, when in reality, it was a pre-production issue. It was an issue with them trying to tell the story and trying to get things done without getting them done. Like, how am I supposed to get a piece of footage or a story from somebody that I don't even see in the footage? Like, they're not there. Like, what? Like, it makes no sense. That's just a few things about having a bad client. There's actually, yo, bro, I have a story, bro. All right, let me set up. There's one time I got sent footage from the same client, shitty ass client, ended up sending me nudes of his girlfriend by mistake. But like, I got like on the footage, like I looked and I'm like, bro, what? Like, this actually happened. And when that happened, I was like, yo, dude, I don't think I need money this bad. When that happened, bro, deleted it off my thing. I don't want my computer filled with any of that BS, bro. That negligence, that's what that is. Negligence. Being negligent with footage like that, that's crazy. That is crazy. Bad clients, bro, there's so many things that they do wrong. Oh my God. They threaten to fire you. I've worked with a client once where, like, let's say I did something good on one edit, right? Like, let's say last week, right? I did a good edit. The shit was seamless. It was good, clean, fire. They were like, yo, bro, you did a good job. Great, boom. The next time, the edit was a little more, like, not rough, because, like, I would say rough. Yeah, it wasn't up to their expectation, right? I got a text from the producer, was like, yo, if you want to work with us long term, make sure you don't make these mistakes or you'll be fired. And I'm like, bro, what? Random. I'm like, yo, and that's the thing. Just like threatening to fire you off of mistakes which will happen, is crazy. Not being patient. I think when having a bad client, they're not patient with you because things do go wrong. Like at the end of the day, we're humans. Things are gonna go wrong. Like it happens. Expecting a product being 100% every time. For people that are watching this to understand what not to do and what to do as a client, as like hiring an editor, do not expect to be like Hayden Hillier-Smith and Logan Paul. And if you don't know what I mean, there's this editor that is named Hayden Hillier-Smith that basically had the perfect, well, from what he says, the perfect relationship when it comes to editing with Logan Paul. The problem with that is not everybody's gonna edit perfectly for you. For the most part, people have to understand your style and what you prefer as a client. And if you're hiring an editor, don't expect them to get 100%. Expect them to get 80% of the way there and then help them for the next 10. And honestly, videos are never gonna get to 100%, so don't even expect that either. Expect like 90, 95%. Like that next 10, 15%, that's you. And eventually you'll get to a flow or whatever, things are gonna get smooth, but that takes time, not weeks, not months, like longer. And if you're trying to build something, that takes time. But also not being super anal about everything. Understand what are the things that are important. Honestly, people put importance on the wrong things when it comes to an edit, especially for YouTube, because people expect certain things to happen from things that are not that important. Believe me, there's so much you can get wrong and still make a video that's like 10 million views. I promise you. Believe me, because I've done it before. And the last one for bad clients, which was a crazy laundry list of things, is basically they don't pay you on time. I've had a client, I've had to hit him up like 5-6 times, and the only time he paid me was to give me more work. And I'm like, yo, bro, you waited 3 weeks to pay me. And mind you, like at that time, I did like 20 videos for like $200, which was never doing that again. Never doing that again. That was horrible. That took me a week and a half to do, 2 weeks. And I didn't get paid until 3 weeks later and only got paid $240, I think. Trash. I was like, yeah, I can't do this. I was like, yeah, I'm going to be busy. I have more other clients. Bye. Never again. Respect your editors. If they do a job for you, pay them. And if you want people to hire you to make videos, you got to do the work. You got to be a good editor. You got to be respectful. You got to be able to work with people. And when working with good or bad clients, no matter who you're working with, there has to be an expectation when it comes to the editor and the client. And what I mean by that is understanding the reality of the situation and being clear in the beginning. As an editor, there's things that you have to do to make things as smooth as possible. And the first one really being, what is it that the client wants? If somebody's hiring you for a job, they want to know, can you get that job done? And how fast can you get that job done? When you're working with clients like high end, that's all they want to know. Can you get the job that I need done? And how fast can you get it done? If they're willing to work with you, and there's like time for a buffer so you can speed up and they're building a team, that's one thing. If they just want to get one video done and they just want somebody good out the gate, then they're not necessarily bad clients, but they have the wrong expectation. Understand that if you're working with somebody that's never made a certain kind of video, then they might be a little slow to get there. But if they are good and they can eventually get there, then it just takes time to speed up that process. For me, I didn't like, now I can edit a podcast in like what, hour 20, bro? Hour 30, depending on how long it is. It was like, if it's like, usually they run like 45, 50 minutes. So I can probably get a podcast done in like hour 30, maybe 2 hours, like if there's like extra little bits. So expectation, understanding what is it the client wants and what can you provide, and being vocal about that, because having that understanding of what you can provide and what they want makes things a lot easier. The second one, what is your job? Like if you're editing, right? Like me, if like I'm doing a talking head, right? Let's say I was hired to do this. Understand what is it that is expected. Like let's say I ask the client like, oh, hey, by the way, what is it that you want? Can you give me a reference? They're like, yo, these are my videos. Can you replicate this? All right, I see. All right, this has rotoscoping. This has music. This has sound effects. This has motion graphics, animation. I'm like, all right, cool. This is how much this is going to cost. And this is how much it's going to take. Because there's things that you need to understand as the editor, like, yo, dude, if this is gonna take me a certain amount of time, then you have to let them know and give yourself extra time. If you're not super confident, give yourself like a day or two extra, so that if you do it faster, great, perfect. You don't have to worry about it. But if you need an extra day or two, you'd rather let them know ahead of time rather than be like, oh, by the way, I need 2 extra days. They're gonna be like, fuck. They'd rather know sooner than later. So be vocal about that. Don't be scared. All right, be like, yo, dude, I'm gonna be honest, I might need 2 extra days on this, right? And if things do happen in the middle, like, yo, shit, something happened and whatever, I'm gonna need extra, it happens, make sure you say it as soon as humanly possible, because the less hiccups, the better. The third one would be kind of editing in a short time frame. And what I mean by that is, if somebody hires you as an editor and they're like, yo, can you get this done in like a day, but you know for a fact this is gonna take you 4 days, then be like, no, that's gonna take you 4 days. I think, like, starting off, people are so worried about not getting the job that you try to promise these crazy things. And it's just like, yo, dude, there's gonna be more jobs. I promise you. It sucks at the moment. And you're like, yo, dude, I don't know if I'm gonna get another job. You know, I don't know if anybody else is gonna hire me. If you're improving and you're better and you have more knowledge and more experience, you're gonna get hired. So just be upfront and honest. This one I hate so much, bro. When clients ask you to make gold out of garbage. Bro, if you tell me make a Mr. Beast video, or a Michelle Khare video, or a Crispy Concords video, and you give me like 20 minutes of B-roll, like a minute of audio, like of like A-roll of people talking, whatever, obviously I'm not gonna be able to do that. So like, bro, if somebody asks you for the world and they give you nothing to make it, then just don't even. It's not even worth it, because you'll have to do the work to try to make something good. They're not gonna like it because they think it's your fault, even though it's theirs, and then you don't get paid, or you get nothing, or basically nothing. So it's honestly, don't expect an editor to do everything. Don't expect an editor to make a compelling story. Don't expect an editor to be able to do all these complex things when you don't give him the tools not him, them, because everybody edits. Don't expect an editor to do your job. If you were supposed to plan out the story, plan out the idea, make sure the story was good, have the characters, have that footage, have that amount of detail, they're gonna be able to build up the story and sling it however they can with what they have. Editors need the tools, so give that to them. Do not expect the world of somebody if you can't help them build it. Okay. And also, this is another thing that I've went through when it comes to the expectation of being an editor is, are you an editor? Or are you a motion graphics designer? Are you going to be helping on ideas? Are you going to be helping on scripting? Are you going to be helping on thumbnails? Like, yo, there's been times where I've worked with somebody and I'm expected to do so much more. And I'm like, whoa, this is not what I signed up for. That's why being clear in the beginning is good. Being told like, oh, hey, like if you're expecting to do a lot more, like for me, I'm used to doing more. And they're like, no, we just need you to edit. Like sometimes pulling back is good. So understanding what your role is, if you're just the editor, or if there's going to be somebody else that does a motion graphics or whatever, because those are different skill sets. If you're able to like do motion graphics, 3D software, you know, all that other stuff on top of, you know, editing the video, then cool. You can charge more because that's more shit. And if they can't offer that, then they can eat ass. Or if you're broke, I don't know. Sometimes you got to just do the job. But look, just, yeah, if you have more skills, you can charge more because you're harder to replace. Another one, not being allowed to have your opinions. Like as an editor, you're gonna have opinions of how the edit goes because you're in it. Obviously, you have to understand you're working with a client, you're giving them a product, and that's what they want, is what they paid for. But also understanding like sometimes your opinion doesn't matter as an editor, which sucks because you're like, yo, I've done this enough to know that's wrong, but you're getting paid, my guy. Sometimes you got to just suck it up. And it is annoying. It's super annoying, the fact that you're like, I know better, and this person's actively hurting themselves. They have to learn that lesson, not you. You're getting paid regardless. But if they're understanding and patient, be like, oh, how come this is the thing, right? And you guys test it out. And that's the thing. When you're testing something, this is like a bonus. When you're testing something in a video, you have to do it a few times to give you an average. A one-time test is not a test. That's just one time. You need to give like a few videos, bro, like 4 or 5, bro. Another one is being ignored, but I think that goes with like having your opinion. Like you're gonna sometimes be ignored as the editor because your opinion to them doesn't matter, which is something you have to expect. Sometimes you're going to be treated like ass, and depending on if you want to stay there or not is on you. But understanding like, yo, some people are just going to treat you like garbage, and that happens. Just understand, like sometimes you're going to be ignored, or like what you have to say doesn't matter. Okay, and this one is a big one. This for expectation of the job is a big one. The video you edit and the views that come with that video are not always determined by how good the video was edited. And I'll say that again. How many views a video gets, it's not determined by how good it was edited. Not always. Why? Because there's videos that are edited poorly that get millions of views, and there's videos that are edited amazingly and get nothing. Why? Because at the end of the day, people want to see what they want. Meaning the idea, and this is going into YouTube analytics, philosophy, understanding how YouTube works in general and social media. So this is a bonus for you, all right? People click on what they want to watch. If they don't want to watch it, they don't click it. So it doesn't matter what you did in the video, it matters what it's about. And if it's interesting to them, and this is something I don't like. If an editor is being, incentivized by, like, let's say you get hired for a job. I'll pay you $200 for this job. And depending on how many views it gets, I'll give you more money. I fucking hate that. I've done that before and I hate it, because if a video does well, it's not always on the editor. Because if you get a video, right? Let's say you got a video idea of let's say the Switch 2, right? And they're like, oh, a Switch 2 review, right? And you're a new YouTuber, whatever. And there's other people that already have time in the space that reviewed the Switch 2, right? Then you paying your editor more about a video that so many other people are doing, and nobody's gonna watch yours because there's other people already doing that video. Yo, bro, you're not gonna go nowhere with that idea, bro. The idea matters so much, and the title and thumbnail, which is the marketing for the video, it determines a large portion of how many views that video gets. And then depending on how good that video is to watch and how easy it is to watch, will boost it even more. But that's only after the idea, title, and thumbnail, okay? That shit's 80% of the job is the idea, title, and thumbnail. I promise you. 20% is the edit. Bro, if you're working with somebody, getting bonus is great, especially if you know it's somebody that has great ideas and you're already a good enough editor, because honestly, you don't need to be the best in the world to get views. I promise you. Like, I've made a video that was kind of trash. Not trash, but I think I can make it much better, and it could have just been a better video just in general. And it got like 90,000 views on a channel that I was just messing around with, right? It was a gaming channel. It was this video right here. You don't need to watch it. It's just an example. The idea matters a lot, and your niche matters a lot. So if you get extra bonus pay on top, great. Make sure you tell them, bro, this is how much this video is gonna cost. And if they're like, okay, and I'll pay on top, great, perfect. Working with people that got money is great. Working with people that don't got no money is ass. When you're new as an editor, like you just started off today, you're not gonna get many jobs and you're not gonna get much money. That's the truth of it. If you don't have much experience in doing a certain kind of video, and the views of those videos don't reach to what people want, then you're not gonna get jobs. I've done videos that have gotten like 30 million views on shorts, and then I got plugged as a shorts editor, and I'm like, shit, I'm a shorts editor now. And then every time I try to work with other people, they'd be like, well, you only have shorts on your thing, so that's all you really do. So like getting pigeonholed is something as well, like, which sucks. And I've had to try so much to not be considered a shorts editor, because that I was not a shorts editor. Believe me, that's not all I did. But because that's what clients see, that's what they expect. So what you do and what kind of jobs you do sets the expectation of what you're capable of, even if you're capable of more. Whatever they see is how they judge you. People pay for outcomes, and if you can't deliver on that outcome, they're not gonna pay you. So don't expect your first week of being a video editor, you're gonna get paid a large amount of money. I was only able to make a living off of video editing after like a year and a half of learning all the BS and being confident in my skill. Because at the end of the day, this is what it is. A video editing is a skill that you learn and you develop over time. A lot of people think in the beginning, as a new video editor, oh, I have to learn all these tricks. I have to learn After Effects. I have to learn motion. I have to learn Blender. I have to learn photo. Bro, stop. You have to learn first, what does it mean to edit? I'm eventually gonna make a video about that. It's gonna probably be somewhere on my channel, so wait for that. But understand what it means to edit and what effects and fancy shit you'll need for what you're doing specifically. Honestly, for the most part, there's only 4 kind of editing tricks that I use for most videos. And I have a video on that. It's gonna be in the description. And it's very simple, easy, and it's like, bro, you don't need much. Honestly, you do not need much for most videos on YouTube. Most of them. And also, as a new editor, setting expectation. Make sure you're letting the client know so they know what to expect. And the easier and more experience you have, the more rules and guidelines you can go through when setting those expectations. As a new editor, you're gonna go through shit. You're gonna go through stuff that you're not gonna be comfortable with. It's gonna be annoying. You're not gonna get paid much. You're gonna be working with rude people. But that's how it goes. That's the thing. Not everybody goes through that. But for me, in my case, and a lot of other editors that I've spoken to, like I'm in contact with and that I've seen, bro, you're gonna be eating shit and you're gonna be going through that. But that's normal, because when you go through that and you gain that experience, then eventually you'll be able to work with clients that you don't want to work with. And because you have that experience, you could be like, well, no, I'm gonna just work with somebody else because you're ass. So understanding, having expectation of how it is as a new editor. Now, being that I have experience, this is the general guideline that I go through when working with a new client. And this only varies slightly in certain cases. Okay. In the beginning, when you get in contact with a client, whether it's through your YouTube videos, whether it's YT jobs, TikTok, Instagram, whatever, LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever, however you get clients, when you get a client, ask them, what is it that you want? And if you have a reference, that's a better understanding of what you can deliver to them, because that's what they want. They want to know, what are you giving to them? What value are you bringing to them? And if they give you a reference, cool, I understand. This is the work that I've done. Or if anything, be like, can you deliver on this? And they give you an example and you're like, yeah, I could do that. Cool, perfect. That's how it starts. Then informing them how long it's gonna take. Even with videos that I've done before, sometimes there's a little finesse, like a little bit. So let's say for a talking head video, I'll give it like 3 days, 4 days, maybe even a week. Why? Because, and then this works with good clients, like if there's like no time limit or whatever, usually I'll give them like 5, 6, 7 days, just because I want to have enough time where I know, because that's the thing with every new client, there's generally some things are the same, but some things are like there's particulars. So you want to give yourself more time and let them know, oh, hey, I'm going to take this amount of time. And if they're like, oh, can you do it sooner? Be like, possibly, but I'm giving myself time so that I can give you the product that you want. If it does go faster, which let's hope it does, then I'll get it to you faster and I can inform you. But going through this first time, it gives me an understanding of what to go through, right? Or if let's say you've done videos with them before, it's understanding, like when it comes to expectation of the job, I always give myself more time than I need, because if you do it faster, great. If you take the same time that you already said, then there's no bullshit. All right, make sure you give the client a time frame that works with you and them, but you have to kind of get that job done. And if you don't think you could get it faster, then make sure that it's good though. When you're sending a video to a new client, and usually I do this because last couple of clients I haven't had to, because it was word of mouth and it was trusted people that I already kind of knew. When it comes to clients though, for the most part, and you should do this every time. When you're working with a client and you want to set expectation, you let them know the price, the time. As if I was talking to a client, I would let them know, by the way, I will be watermarking the video, because it's a precaution for me to make sure the process is smooth when it comes to payment, right? Because you already spoke about payment, right? And if they're like, oh yeah, whatever, no, make sure you take your time and speak to them about it. The videos will be watermarked at the end. Once the video is up to your once you're happy with the video and I send you the watermark and you're like, okay, this is the version that I want, can you send it without the watermark? You let them know, please send the payment. Once the payment goes through, I'll then send you the full version without the watermark. And because this will happen sometimes, they ask you, okay, watermark's fine, can you send me the project file? You let them know. You let them know as well, project file, and there will be a watermark on the video, and I'll send it to you only after payment, because if they have the project file and they have all the files that you use, well then they can just take it off and take the video and not even pay you. So then you'll get double fucked, because you've done all the work, you've given them the product, and you don't get no money. So make sure you put a watermark on your work and you do not give them the files, and you let them know, because if they say later, oh, hey, by the way, can I get the file, whatever. No, we already spoke about this. It's a precaution that I have to take as the video editor, so then I am secure, so that you get the product that you want. Because this is the thing, if people are like, oh no, whatever, yo, bro, you're still, that's depending on good or bad clients. Because a good client be like, yo, I understand, it's a precaution, you have to take that, I respect it. Bad clients will be like, no, but you know it's gonna be wasting time or whatever. Be like, put your foot on the ground, no, this is how it works, and then if you want to keep working with them, okay. If not, leave. Because when you're working with a good client, they're not gonna have a problem with it. After a while, like me personally, right now with the client that I work with consistently, I don't send the watermark, because they've been paying me on time every time. I never have to worry about it. But that's a relationship that I've built over months of working. That takes time. If you're working with somebody new, especially, and you don't know if they're slimy or not, bro, Nah, bro, put that watermark and be like, yo, can I get the project? Nah, you can't get the project file too. That's extra. That's extra right there. That's kind of like the framework of how I go about doing a job for clients, and especially new clients, because with all the bullshit that I've experienced, if you've never worked with clients before, it's hard to understand what are things that they're doing wrong, what are things that you're doing wrong, what are the things that they're doing right, what are the things that you're doing right. And with experience, it's kind of good to get a point of view if you're new, speaking to editors with experience that are like, yo, dude, don't do this, do that, and them explaining to you why. Because then when you experience these things, you don't have to go through the bullshit. And that's kind of why I'm making these videos, for one, so I get more work with people that want to hire me. Email in the description. But also so that helping other editors not make those decisions that'll cost you time and money. And honestly, bro, like, I wish I had a video like this when I started off. Jesus, that would be so helpful. Whew. Yo, now that I gave you all of that information, come on, stop playing with me, man. Go watch more of my videos, you know what I'm saying? You get more knowledge, I get views, okay? Ha ha.